Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SLO City Together Podcast, where strangers become friends, friends become family, family reunites, and then they freeze together in a cold room and talk about things. And the reuniting that I'm referring to is we are joined today by our old friend and our old next-gen pastor, Skyler Davis.
I really was hoping you were going to say his middle name.
Yeah, of course.
Skyler's here. He's really nervous. He's really nervous. Really nervous. Because now that you're a campus pastor at a big church, anything you say will be used against you.
That is true.
Did you have to get written consent to do this?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. I had to sign lots of legal documents,
Yes.
so we're good to go.
Okay. Well, as long as we've got that taken care of.
Can you hear him good? Well?
Yeah.
Can you hear him gooder?
We can hear him fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Skyler, I never thought you'd be back on the podcast once you left us for
I didn't either.
For the green grass of Kentucky.
Nor do I know if I desired to, but
But the
I
request,
couldn't say no.
but the ask was given.
There was, you get asked some questions in life, and there's only one answer,
Yeah.
and I couldn't say no to this.
Yeah.
So I'm honored to be on the podcast.
The answer is yes.
Well, we're honored to have you.
Yes and amen.
Yeah.
How many monthly listeners are there to the podcast?
I don't think
Do we have that data?
ever looked at that.
Well, the thing is, this is tied in with the sermons.
Yes.
So it would be a little skewed.
Yes.
Oh.
You can look
know,
at the specifics
specific
episodes
episodes.
on the app
Oh.
on Subsplash, but
Yeah.
it doesn't tell you like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Amazon. I'm sure some people are listening on Amazon.
Well, I would
Is this
like to
on
give.
Amazon?
And YouTube.
It is on YouTube.
Subsplash pushes it to everything.
Well, no, it doesn't push to YouTube. I put it on YouTube.
Right.
separately.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like all the podcast platforms.
Okay.
I would like to give a few shout outs
Okay.
to some people who I know are
Yeah, good.
are monthly listeners.
Yep.
I'd like to give a shout out to David Bowen, who I know listens
Does he?
frequently.
Lauren listens. I'm going to correct
And
you.
Lauren.
And Lauren then
And
tells
Lauren.
David to
Lauren and
listen.
David
Thank you,
Bowen.
Lauren, for telling David to listen.
I would like to give a shout out to Lorraine Bide, who we
Yes.
talked to yesterday.
Yeah,
who
she said it was
listens,
really funny.
and she laughed.
She said
So,
Jordan is the funniest.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
hurtful.
So Lorraine, I hope I make you
Jordan's
laugh more than
also
Jordan.
the most hurtful, so that makes sense.
That's the three. That's the three shout outs.
And somehow he's doing your wedding. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole again. I'm sorry.
Is this the last podcast?
I'm not hurt.
Is this the last podcast before Luke gets married?
Yes.
Absolutely.
But keep going with your shout outs.
That's it.
That's all
That's
you guys
all I know.
Three.
What about Jim Hay?
Is he a
Well, now,
is
now
he
you
a-
have to.
Religious
Hey.
listener.
massive shout out to Jim Hay?
Yeah.
Did you know he was on the podcast?
Yeah.
Did you see
I think
that?
I did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has he been on more than once?
No, it was just the once. At least since I've...
I remember back
around.
when you did
The
you had several
My
people
Life
on,
Story.
and you did My Life Story.
And did David
Did you ever
Stewart?
get lunch with David?
Yeah.
David Stewart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. of
Okay,
course.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've gotten lunch several times.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah, because he forgot to. Yes, I remember
Yeah.
that story.
Yeah.
He said,
We're lunch pals.
"I would not like to have lunch with you today, but next week."
Yeah.
Right?
That's something in that regard.
Okay.
Well, we're off to a rocking start.
But yes, this is the last podcast before Luke's
Yeah, we don't do this
wedded weekend.
typically more than once a week,
Yeah.
and rarely do we do it even once in a week.
Yeah, but
So
we're on a roll right now. I think it's
We've done
because we
pretty good.
haven't moved buildings
it could be.
recently.
Location helps.
That'll do
Yeah,
it.
location
That'll do it.
helps,
even if they are cold. But
and fall helps.
I picked up, and Skyler also picked up the tux, my tux for the wedding this weekend.
Did it fit?
It did fit really good. I had not, when I went to get measured, they didn't like measure me in the tux. It was
Oh.
just,
Yeah.
random apparel, right? So I hadn't seen it in person. I had just picked it out online.
The
And,
tux?
Yeah.
Oh,
Which was
So-
a little bit of a gamble.
yeah. Because how do you know if it doesn't look good on you?
Yeah, exactly. But it came, and I'm very excited for how it looks. And it was a cool, I'm sure you guys had this experience as well. It was a cool moment, like another like marker of what's happening. It's like, oh man, this is,
Your wedding
like,
tux.
I'm getting married in this, and this isn't for someone else's wedding.
It's for my wedding.
It's for me. So
How
that was
long
cool.
are your pant legs?
Mine were not long enough, so you might need to double check that.
Yeah.
But you liked that.
Wasn't that?
I
a
did
I think
like
that
it,
was
but,
intentional.
It was intentional,
You've
but
got like capri legs.
sometimes you overemphasize things,
Oh,
That
you
was
think that was overemphasized?
That was a little overemphasized.
I didn't mind that. That was cool. It was
So
cool.
much so, I think that is what most people remember
Oh
from my
my
wedding
gosh,
day.
did I
is
bring up a
how
sore subject?
short my pant legs
See,
were.
this is what Skyler was
But,
afraid
you know,
of. I was going to point out all of his insecurities.
It didn't bother me.
That's good.
I was
I
rolling with
thought it was cool.
You also, I mean, I liked that. Are you wearing socks with your shoes?
Yes,
You are.
They're like a normal length. They're not
Because I
like
thought your
shortened.
shoes were cool and you didn't wear socks.
Yeah.
You wore like penny loafers.
Yeah, it was.
Penny
was,
loafers.
It was a trend. I think it's
Started.
no longer in style.
No, it's in.
But,
It's
you
in.
know,
Baggy. Yeah, it's weird. I don't like the new baggy pant
baggy's
thing.
kind of back.
Yeah,
I'm baggy enough.
yeah, yeah.
I need less baggy.
I think we all agree.
Got bags under my eyes.
It's hard to transition from styles. Have you noticed this?
Yes.
Like we grew up in kind of the tighter pants and t-shirts era.
I will say I've gone through both eras.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm older.
sure.
I'm older than you guys.
But I feel like I've reached a point where it has been hard to transition from that to
Too baggy.
looser, baggier
Losing
clothes.
baggier clothing. Yeah.
And it makes me feel a little old when I see like
yeah.
how
You're like,
much-
oh man, look at that.
Yeah,
I can't
like-
do that anymore.
yeah, those are so baggy. And mine are so tight. What is happening? And I feel old
You can
now.
see my phone in my pocket.
Yeah. I can't even tell if those pants fit them or not.
It is weird. It is weird.
Yeah.
Well, what's really weird is the trend that my boys are in to go dig through old clothes at Goodwill at the bins. And then they're selling them on this. We've talked about Depop before where they're
Oh, yeah.
selling old Goodwill bins clothes for exorbitant amounts of money.
Right.
And so when we were in Kentucky this past week, my dad was like, I gotta clean out my closet. And they're like, can we look through it? And I was like, what? And they walked out with literally like a laundry basket each full of my dad's old clothes. And these have been, I'm in that phase now that my dad was in where if you buy something when you're 20, you keep it until you're dead. And that's like all of my dad's clothes he's had forever. Is your dad the same way?
Yeah.
Been wearing the same fleece forever, been wearing the same
Old
sweatshirt
Kentucky
forever.
basketball t-shirts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the boys went through and they wore them all to school this week. All of my
Really?
dad's like
So
Columbia fleeces and
Yeah.
like,
But
and
so they didn't sell it? They chose
and
to
they're
keep
baggy,
it?
of course.
Yeah.
No, they kept it.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting because I can't go do that. Right? Like you can't
Yeah,
go do
that's
that
true.
at 42.
Yep.
Or you're looking
Or
like
30.
you're trying
Yeah.
way too hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There's definitely there's a balance between, staying a little bit with the trends.
Yeah.
But not
Yeah.
so much that you're like, okay.
I'm in my like Target era. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
go. I saw Jordan.
Target's kind of there. I feel like that's the balance right now. Is they're like we're kind of there, but we're also still,
I saw Jordan last night. I was like, I really like that shirt you're wearing. He goes, Costco.
Yeah, Costco. Yeah.
I was like, oh man, we've arrived.
Skyler, why don't you just give us a little bit of a peek into your life?
Yeah.
An
Enough about-
update, a glimpse into you that the listeners may not know. If
Like,
they
what do
don't-
you think
Well-
about when you get ready in the morning? Like, how am I gonna look?
Going there or life updates?
I would go more
This is
life
two different
update.
questions.
That was a hard
Yeah.
turn from clothing
I'll
to
answer
to
life updates first, and then I'll answer
No, I don't want you to
my
answer that.
Real
thoughts
questions.
as I am
I don't want you to
getting
answer that.
ready
No.
in the morning. The past 2 years, me and Meryl got married about a year and a half ago.
I was there.
That has been amazing. The best. You were both there.
Mhm.
So
It's true.
we can just title this podcast "Weddings."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Entire weddings.
Yeah.
We got married.
The
a year and a
weddings
half
that
ago.
Brent didn't do.
Well, you can't say didn't. It hasn't happened yet.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Jordan might drop dead.
He might bail. We don't know.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. This is not about me.
We got married a year and a half ago. It's been the best. Marriage is the best.
Yeah.
We've had, great first year and a half together, and many more to come. We've gotten to do a lot of trips, which has been super fun.
Yeah.
Why?
Vacations, and then Ironman stuff has
Yeah,
led
that's
us all around the world. Yeah, which has been really fun. So we've done.
Tell us about your Ironman. Like, is she like? Are you Ironmanning and she's Ironmanning?
She is the Iron.
Well, but you're
Ironman.
doing it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got into it mostly to just be supportive and to be a training partner, which is fun because it is a huge time commitment. So it's fun that we,
Co-sufferer.
Yes, co-suffer, co-labor.
Slower downer.
Yeah, that's true. I legitimately cannot keep up with her. Just like I couldn't keep up with you on the trails. So,
There we go.
I'm slow and steady. That's how I live my life.
That is
It's
how you
good,
are,
man.
yeah.
I like that though. I need.
But we've been to
a little,
Hawaii. We went to New Zealand last December.
all for Ironman.
Yeah, both for Ironmans. We're going to Spain next month.
Jeez.
Got to come here. Yeah, it's. I mean, this trip isn't for Ironman. This is for Luke, but
Luke.
yeah, we've gotten to travel the world
the
together
man
already.
of
It's
iron.
been
Yes.
really fun.
He is an Iron
So-
Man.
Yes.
Yeah, I have had 2 jobs since I left. Had a role in college age at my home church, and then now
Mhm.
I get to serve as campus pastor at my home church.
How unsatisfied are you in that role?
I'm satisfied in that role. It is. It has
For the
been-
record, I publicly really like my job.
It has been, a rich little stretch there. I've been in that role also about 1.5 years. So, the South Louisville campus of my home church. So,
We drove
Yeah.
by it when we were in Kentucky.
hmm
It's on the backside of Churchill Downs, historic Churchill Downs.
Yeah.
Hard area, right?
Yep.
Like poverty stricken,
Yep.
lots of problems in the neighborhood, but a lot of opportunities to love the Ville, as they say.
Yep. Tough part of town. A lot of poverty, a lot of drug addiction.
Mm-hmm.
We're about less than a mile south of the University of Louisville.
So you get a lot of college students?
So we get a lot of college students. So we get
It's
to
your sweet
see
spot, man.
kind of what the Lord's doing, not kind of what the Lord is doing, in young people and in college students, all around literally the globe right now,
Yeah.
which is really exciting to get to be a part of that. Love that part of it. But
Yeah.
it is a context that like I've never been in before. So that has stretched me and grown me a ton. But it's definitely sobering to, do life and ministry in that part of the city,
Mhm.
day in and day out. So it's been really, really good. Really, really grateful
That's awesome.
to be there.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
How do you think you've grown through? Because that's a big responsibility
Yeah.
in ministry.
Mhm.
You're overseeing a campus
Staff.
of a church and leading your team and
yeah, I think practically, having never led people on a quote unquote org chart has been a huge stretching and growth thing. It's
Yeah.
one thing to lead volunteers,
yeah.
but then it's a whole other thing to lead people who you have to hold them accountable,
Yeah.
to things, So that's been a huge growth opportunity for me, stretched me in a lot of good ways. So I've enjoyed that. And then again, just being in a part of the city that my previous experiences in my 20s hadn't, I didn't have anything necessarily in the bag to pull from
Yeah.
of doing,
Urban
ministry,
ministry,
Yeah.
I had served in Crestwood, we served in
Mhm.
Crestwood, Kentucky together, and then here,
Mhm.
there's parts and pockets of that,
Yeah.
but not so much that kind of being the
Yeah,
all-encompassing
you're fully
part of
immersed in
it.
it. Yeah.
Because I think when you're in an urban context,
And you're like the guy,
Mhm.
not the guy, but you're like the
Kind of the
shepherd
guy.
of the staff
of that area.
of the area.
Of
Yeah,
that
yeah.
specific.
Yeah. So I think, urban context, there's just so many different pockets of people that you are reaching.
Mm-hmm.
We have the generational people who have been a part of our campus church for a long time.
There's a big migrant population too.
a lot
isn't
of
there?
a lot of immigrants and refugees in that part of
Yeah.
Louisville.
Mhm.
So we have a really thriving Spanish-speaking group
Yeah.
in ministry, and so they live across the street, so
Yeah.
they're quite literally your neighbors. So you
Yeah.
can't just say. It feels unfaithful to say, well, we don't speak Spanish, so
Yeah.
they can figure it out when
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
come and they want to be a part of your church, but there's a language barrier.
Yeah.
You just say, okay, how do we figure this out? And it's just been
Yeah.
really cool to watch how God
It's cool.
provides people in ways to create a space for them. And then I feel like our responsibility on that side is to say, okay, are we going to make room for these people, our neighbors, who are we going to welcome the foreigner, like scripture says. And so it's really fun to be open to that, because I feel like in my experience, those are the things that God wants to breathe life within, whenever it is, I did not take this role 1.5 years ago saying, I want to go to the south end of Louisville to reach Spanish speaking people.
Sure.
That was not a preconceived thought that I had. But then you get in it, and I think, I'm reading a Eugene Peterson book where he says the role of a pastor is not to come in necessarily and say, this is what we are going to do, but it's to have an awareness to step back and to say, what is happening right now, kind of that phrase.
Yeah.
And with this idea of what is God doing right now,
Yeah.
and how do we
Respond.
how do we be a part of
the
that,
moment, contextualize.
And I've loved that, because I think when you are a part of things, and the two specific things I would say right now are in our context, Spanish speaking community, and then college students. When you're a part of things that you didn't necessarily feel like you created the movement or the vision, but you just said, God, what are you doing right now? And you just helped foster it and put the sails up to catch the wind for it. It's a really humbling thing, genuinely, because I think when you're a part of something that you step back and you're like, wow, I got to be a part of that, but I didn't create it. And you just see God's life and spirit upon it. You don't leave that more prideful of like, look at this strategy or this vision we came up with to reach people. You're
or
just
this
like,
can't exist without me.
Yeah. You're just like, wow, we just stepped back and God is doing something.
Did that.
And so
It's amazing.
I think that's probably one of the biggest things I've learned this year and a half, is just kind of having the awareness to be like, okay, God, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And how can we make room, set the table for it?
That's awesome.
So,
man.
Yeah. I love it.
I like that, man. Sounds like you've grown up too.
Hey, thank you.
Seriously, like I think that's like really wise and so true. Like in that perspective of stepping back and just paying attention to what God's doing and saying like, God, I want to partner with you in that. And this is you doing the work is super special. What were you going to say?
Yeah. I was going to ask, and it might be in the vein of what you've already said, but what would you say is something that you're particularly, I don't know if proud of is the right phrase, but like something that you see God doing in like the culture of the church or a specific ministry or an event or whatever it is that you're like, man, that is really cool, and there's power in that. Yeah.
First thing that came to my mind, without going into all the details of this, the campus that I serve at is a church that's been around since 1902.
Yeah.
And launched Southeast Christian Church in the 1960s, and then merged back with them in 2020. So all that to say is there are people, a part of the church, a part of the campus, who have gone to church there for literally decades.
Were born in 1902?
Yeah. Well, not since the genesis of the church.
It's
possible.
I suppose. But anyway, there's some people who have gone to church there for 80 years.
That's cool.
There's a gentleman in his 90s who comes to our first service every Sunday who remembers the gathering in the 60s when they stood to launch, when they sent people.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that no one really briefed me on or prepared me for, was the legacy.
Yeah.
And I think, to answer that question directly, one of the things that I think I'm, again, proud of might not be the right word, but grateful for, is that I feel like those people haven't been forgotten. And I feel like we have continued to honor them and highlight them, and again, create spaces for them to do some of the Sunday school type things that they used to love.
Yeah.
Meryl and I have gotten to, take them, go to dinner with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's a lot of widows now. And so we've, tried to intentionally, bake them cakes and visit them when they're in the hospital and different things. And I think that I'm really grateful for that.
That's cool.
That they haven't been forgotten in the hustle and bustle of the newness and the forward momentum and college students and young people.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
The multi-generational aspect of a church, that it is so important to the life of a church, that you don't forget the generations and quite literally the shoulders that you stand on. So I think I'm really proud looking back that
it's good
that we've been intentional with those things. So
yeah, that is cool.
How are you proud of Luke?
Wow.
We don't have time.
We don't have time. Yeah,
maybe we can
probably
save
shouldn't
that for
even
the
go
wedding.
there. Yeah. Okay. How about you guys? Not to take control of the podcast.
Well, you kind of have done that. You and Jordan are kind of
very, very
cut from the same
domineering personalities.
Yeah. What would you all say the past 2 years has been like in the life of SLO City Church and
Luke,
in your
you can
personal
answer
lives.
this.
Yeah.
I'm just here to listen.
I mean, the obvious thing to point to is transitions, and it almost feels redundant in a way, because it's just transitional. There's a lot of transitions in the life of the church, from staff, additions or subtractions, location changes, those kinds of things. So there's definitely that. But I think through that, one of the things that, I guess, a common thread is a sense of resilience. Like, I think that's something God's really done, is build up resilience and faithfulness within the church, not just within like the staff, but the true body of the church as a whole, which I think is a really, really cool thing. So I think that's a big thing. I think continuing to grow in community. We had a guest speaker in this past Sunday, and he asked me, he's like, what's like one or two things you think SLO City does really well? And I think our community is a reflection of the desire and intentionality of community in this city in general. I think people are really hungry for it and good at being together people. But I think, obviously when you're pursuing that together as the church, I think there's just creates a level of depth and intentionality. And so I think that's something that I've seen. Like young adults I was talking with someone yesterday, I was like, yeah, young adults feels like it's getting to a place that's like consistent and deep and growing, and people are coming and that kind of thing. So resilience, community.
That's awesome.
Those are two things.
Past 2 years. Shoo. Yeah. You said community, resilience, transition. Yeah. I think like, similar to you saying, looking at what God's doing and responding, it's kind of been like our posture of like, there's some, I think somebody said this morning, like, or maybe you just said it, pastor saying like, we're going to come in and we're going to do this. Like that's never, yes, this is the kind of people we want to be, but we've never said like, okay, this is what we're doing and this is where we're going. Even though we do have directionals and vision and mission, it has been a lot of reaction and response. Yeah. So like when the floods came, literally to Los Osos, like there was response. When COVID happened, there was response, and like responding to the moment and the needs. When we were outside for a long time, there was like response and action. When, I think this past 2 years has been a lot more of like reactionary and responding to doors opening, doors closing, and seeing that there is so much life in just like saying like, okay, God, like that door's closed. That's frustrating. This door's open. Okay, let's step through that. And even though that's a harder door, I wouldn't have chosen that. There's so much good in the hard and the discomfort. And that's what I think the past 2 years has taught me, is that like, don't shy away from the uncomfortable or the difficult, because there's a lot of life there. Yeah. And even though that's heavy and hard to deal with and to navigate, it's also been really galvanizing for people, for our church to say like, yeah, the church is not the building. It's not the four walls. And guess what? God has provided for us. We would have never had this mahogany-ridden place that we're in right now without God opening a door. And I think like that's just taught me like over the past 2 years, like don't fret, don't worry, like don't be afraid, like continue to speak boldly. We just read that in Acts 13. Paul had a vision of when he got to Corinth, and he was clearly afraid because he has a vision, and the Lord says like, don't fear, don't be dismayed. You're not going to be harmed. Like I'm going to be with you. Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of been a constant theme over the past 2 years of like, hey, don't be anxious. You can sleep well at night. Like we've got you. The church has grown. Since you've been here in 2 years, it's maybe doubled in attendance and engagement and reach. We saw in the past 2 years, more people baptized in the past 6 months. And maybe in the life of the church, which is kind of cool. So, and that's, and I don't know, that's what I've learned. Probably just tie that up right there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the
uncomfort.
Yeah.
That's one of the really cool things about this church and this community. Kind of leaving and coming back in and thinking, even on the train ride up from Santa Barbara, I was, just reflecting, and I was just thinking, wow, it was a really humbling, but such a cool thing to think about being here this Sunday and getting to reconnect with people. And I thought, wow, I'm only going to know less than half of this community now
Yeah.
in 2 years.
And you've been forgotten.
Yeah.
People.
But so cool to just see, wow, God, you're still, continuing to move in this church and in the life of this community. And I think it's such a special season, 6 years in, to still be in the quote unquote nomadic stage.
Yeah.
But you all are, continuing to learn and grow so much in that season, and being galvanized, strengthened together is so cool. And I love what you said. I think, like, even reflecting, I think how much a church grows in having the awareness of not trying to, force God's hand into, hey, we want to do this, but having this awareness of, okay, God, what do you want to do in the life of our church? I think when you boil that down, even in our personal lives, thinking about, I moved here and 7 weeks later, COVID hit.
Yeah.
And
you did a fast, and it looked like you had been, that was crazy.
Yeah.
We should tell that story. Anyway, go ahead. You tell some good Skyler stories.
But as I was listening to you talk about that, I was just thinking about, I think when we personally have that posture of, okay, God, what are you doing around me? And we humbly respond to that, it seems like God is able to teach us things that we really need for that season,
Yeah.
As you were sharing, I remembered when I moved, I had these expectations of what life and ministry was going to look like here. And then COVID happens, and then all of a sudden my job quite literally became the most important thing on my to-do list each week was to create a YouTube, an engaging YouTube content service for kids. Yeah. And I was like, wow, this is not what I'm good at, not what I signed up for. I remember literally really our meeting where I said, Brent, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
But you have to step back and say, okay, God, what do you want? What does faithfulness look like for me in this season? And then what are the things that he's going to teach you in that? Yeah. And I look back on that and wow, it's just the things that God teaches us in our heart when we respond to those things is deep and profound. So
within that vein, a little bit kind of another turn. What is one story
from
your time here in San Luis Obispo that you find yourself telling people in Louisville somewhat often, perhaps?
Or what's one story that we tell of Skyler often?
Start with that. Let me think.
While you're thinking, I'm just thinking, Skyler went into COVID, and I'm sorry I'm outing you for fasting, which is supposed to be done in secret. It was a long time ago. But Skyler decided in the beginning of COVID to fast for 40 days.
Uh-huh.
And it was like a Daniel type of fast.
Yeah,
so it was like you ate something.
I essentially went vegetarian and starved myself as much as I could.
And he would come into the Zoom, and he had this stupid looking map hanging behind him, and it looked like he was in a hostage video.
I did lose, I think, over 20 pounds.
I was like, are you okay? And when you don't have a lot of 20 pounds to lose, and we were like, are you okay, man? Like, do you need some food?
I got thin, yeah.
It was pretty funny. We would make fun of him a lot, which was probably not helpful to your fast, but
so that's the story.
Do you have
you
a story
share
that
of me?
No, I just am thinking about it now that you said that you came and 7 weeks later COVID happened.
Yeah, I think I share broad experiences, a lot.
Baptism stories, probably.
Yeah. I think, but I think, I think my experiences and just what I learned here were so rich.
Yeah.
I lean on them a lot, everything I learned in, getting to be a part of college age ministry here.
Mm-hmm. Not one story. He asked for one story.
I know. I'm trying to think of one.
I knew it was going to be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
But I thought I would put it out there, and if you had one.
Yeah.
But
what's one story you think about from when Skyler was here?
Oh man, I definitely think about our speaking of children's video content, our Christmas special that we did about a year after I moved here.
You can find all these on YouTube if you're listening. Just go to the SLO City YouTube page.
Yeah.
Is it under a playlist somewhere?
It's probably under some
SLO City Kids
ministry
thing?
playlist.
I think it has 75 views. I guarantee I'm probably 70% of those.
Okay.
So.
Every Christmas since you've moved, you've sent me a picture of you watching it.
I forced my nieces to watch it.
Yeah, they don't care. They're not interested.
Yeah, they do not care at all. But
isn't this great?
But I love it.
Isn't this great? Look at that guy.
at the Sky Guy, the Spy Guy, Sidekick Rick.
Sidekick Rick.
So that's definitely one that I enjoy.
Yeah, my favorite is when you pull Steven out into the woods to shoot video of you with an alligator that is ours.
Mm-hmm.
We have it. That was the boys grew up watching the Gator Boys.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize all these years that gator that you were using was ours, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It was a fun season.
That is good.
Those were the good old days. You know what? We were living in the good old days.
That's what Skyler would say,
This
man.
is the good old days.
These
Yeah.
are the good old days.
Do you still say that?
No, it's
No,
not
'cause
the
they're
good old
not.
days.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent now.
Those were 2 years
Those
ago.
are the good old days when you could wear baggy pants if you wanted to change your trend.
I guess so.
Now we're in the old days.
Yeah. I was going to say too, having had the opportunity, I think twice now, to visit your church in Louisville has been really cool. It's been cool for a couple of reasons. On a personal level, it's cool to see you in that role, and to see like you're just living into what God has called you to do, you know. And you know, you're talking about how it's grown you, and it's like I don't really get to see that, but I get a sense of it from, you know, attending your services there, which is really cool. And it's cool because I mean, it reminds me of SLO City in a lot of ways. It feels very authentic. It is very like diverse in all the ways, generationally, culturally, and that's really cool to see. Yeah, and it just feels like very like, you know, the people are there because they want Jesus and they want to worship and they want to feel His presence and experience Him. And so, just to brag on you a little bit and what God is doing there, it has been really cool to see that. And
Thanks,
if you're
man.
listening to this, and if you ever find yourself in Louisville, Kentucky on a Sunday morning, would highly recommend.
3845.
Drive to Churchill
Seven
down, take a
Parkway.
left,
Skyler.
Yep.
and veer to the right a little
Thanks,
bit
man.
at the light.
Thanks for saying that.
Right up there on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skyler is you're one of the most faithful, humble, thoughtful, intentional people I know. And I think like, you know, we've got a great team here, but we talk about you a lot as a model of like, hey, we used to do this and we used to do this. And it's been helpful to not like pedestalize you, but like you've really laid the foundation for a lot. And the way that you care for people is huge. So you're definitely missed here, but you're definitely in the right spot. And yeah.
Thanks, guys. That means a lot.
And
Yeah, man.
Luke's getting married.
That's right.
So Luke, we're all so proud of
Sweet
you.
days. It's okay. We talked about it last
We
week
did.
more,
We
so
did.
it's
We
all
did.
good.
We're going to be there. I'll be there.
Yeah.
You got the flower party tomorrow
Got
night.
the flower party tomorrow night.
Flower
That's
party.
right. It'll be a good time.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Thank
I've
you
got
all
a
for
meeting
that.
in 10
Dude, that
minutes.
means a lot.
I've got a meeting in
This-
10 minutes.
this is-
What would you say? You guys kind of answered this, but
Okay.
I feel like this, I was just thinking
didn't
about
do a
this
good
this
job answering
morning,
it?
and I was just thinking how cool it would be for people to hear kind of, you know,
What you think
an
of what we
outside
think of you, or-
perspective coming in. No, who's been a part of this church,
Yeah.
not necessarily reflecting on the past 2 years, but what would you say if you were to kind of in that theme of what's going on right now, of like what God is doing? What if you were to ponder that and say, okay, this is what I think is the
Thing God is
season that we
doing
are
right
in,
now?
yeah, as SLO City Church, and then what do you sense that this next season is going to look like in light of that? Does that question kind of make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Makes sense.
I'm thinking. Do you have an initial thought?
I do, but I'd like to hear your. Well,
No, I
can
went
go
first last time, so you go first.
Okay, I would say last March. Was it last March? We did a Vision Sunday, and
This past March, yeah.
it was talked about Joshua moving across the river and waiting for the presence of God to go before them. And he says, consecrate yourselves before, you know, and keep your eyes fixed on the Ark of the Covenant or whatever. And whatever, you get what I'm saying. And I feel like we preached that and we talked about that, and I feel like I sense that we are in, as a church, a season of refinement and consecration, of preparation. You know, I think we're kind of discovering like, who's in this with us? Who's not? You know, like who's praying and fasting and serving and who's really excited and engaged in what God's doing in our church. And wanted to do in the kingdom or for the kingdom in the city.
Mhm.
And I think we're in this preparatory, consecrated, anticipatory season.
Mm.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. Similarly, and maybe this is like just the easy answer any church could say, but I do feel like it's like a deepening season. Just becoming, and I guess I'm thinking about this specifically within like my ministry, like worship. It's like, I think there's a call to, deepen that connection, relationship, intimacy, vulnerability before the Lord, and intentionality in doing so, growing in faithfulness, making that a practice, So, I think just becoming, this kind of echoing what Brent is saying, becoming more like holistic, I guess, worshipers, like completely sold out, surrendered every day, every moment, worshipers of God.
It's good.
I was reading about, really quickly, it's because this is tying in, and it's kind of like Paul goes to Corinth in Acts chapter 18. We just read this in our men's Bible study. And he stays there for 1.5 years, and then he like shaves his head at the end of it, which is interesting. Do you remember this? And like that's what you would do at the end of a Nazirite vow. So it tells you that he had spent 1.5 years in Corinth, and he took a vow to like abstain from things, to commit himself to things. And I feel like that's kind of the season that I'm feeling pulled into, that we're feeling pulled into as a church, of like taking a vow to like fast from things, to really be intentional. Because I think, we're growing up as a church too. We're 6.5 years old. We've got a little bit of lineage underneath us. We've never had that. And I think I'm kind of growing into, I'm still growing as a leader. Luke's still growing as a leader. Jacob's still growing, actually, taller.
Yeah.
And
he hasn't stopped.
So, Jacob caught a stray. But I don't know. I've been thinking about that just because I think like that's kind of the season we're in as a church, to say all that intentionally, saying I like that holistic worshiper. So
it's good.
Anyways, glad you're back.
Yeah.
Glad you're here. Yeah. And
okay. I thought you had something else there. Thanks so much for listening. Skyler, thanks for coming on today.
Thanks, Sky Guy.
Thank you all.
And, Sky Guy the news. It started as Sky Guy the news guy.
Yeah.
That's true.
Sky Guy is
bringing good news in a dark time of COVID.
That's right.
Totally ripped it off from John Krasinski's at the Office guy who did the good news.
So
That's
good.
totally where the idea came from.
My favorites were going up to the office and taking a seeing you sit in like soccer shorts and a suit and tie.
You know what's sad and humbling about getting older, and I know I'm not super old, but
you're a lot more
is when
fun.
when you
You're
make something and you're so proud of it.
Yeah.
And then a few years go by and you reflect on it and you watch it and you're like, that was so silly.
No, dude. I'm not going to lie to you. What are you talking about? You were proud of the work?
I feel like the production quality and different things of SLO City Kids news.
Well,
you look back on it and I'm like, man, I am so good at iMovie and look at this. Yeah. And then you go back and watch it and you're like, you can't understand what that sheep is saying.
Is when you left and Abby was trying to do iMovie for the first time and she was like, I can't do it.
I did get pretty skilled.
Abby caught a stray as well. Sorry. Just Yebby.
We better cut this off.
We should. It's going to... Why?
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
But not really. We should wrap it up.
We should.
We've got places to be and things to do.
Thank
but
you
it's
all.
been
Thank
so
you all
good
for having
chatting
me
with
back.
you. Thanks for listening. And we will talk with you soon.
Sky Guy, the news guy, signing off.
Yep. See you all at church Sunday if this goes out before Sunday.
He tried to end
I'd love
it,
to see
but
you all.
he can't.
Can I end it?
Yes, go for it.
Thank you all for listening to the SLO City Together podcast today. Strangers have become family again and have been reunited.
He totally butchered that.
Have a great week.
See ya.